think every artist, if you're an artist and you don't have social media presence, I don't know what you're doing. I've met some artists who are like, oh, I don't want to be on that. I don't like social media. Well, you don't really have a choice. You're an artist. You're in the show business. You're in show business. Like you don't have a choice. You have to. If you've chosen this life to be an artist, bro, you don't have a choice. You have to. Yes. I think so. Yes.
Now, do you
because
think
even me, I'm an example. I didn't go to school for it or anything. Like I was self-taught all the way. Again, you have to find the right mentor. You have to find someone who's actually somewhere that you're trying to get to. So find that person and you just, because that's going to fast track everything for you, because they're going to just tell you, they're going to teach you how not to make the mistakes that they made, and then it just fast tracks everything for you. I have very good relationships with most of the artists that I work with, from all of them. Like I don't really have any like bad relationship with any artist that I've worked with. Yeah, so I think that might have been like 2019 or 2020. I had like these artists come up, and it was the first time I was working with them. And then we started recording. Bro, halfway into the session, my computer crashed. My computer crashed. I had never had that happen to me before. I was in my mind, I was freaking out, but I had to be calm and be like, okay, I just had to like finesse the situation and tell them like, oh, you know what, like let's just come back next week. I'm not gonna charge you for the next session. Just come back next week. We'll get this all sorted out. And then
What up? What's up? What's going on, Vancouver? What's going on, family? What's going on, AFRODIASPO Nation? We are back yet with another. Should I give you the privilege to do that one?
sensational?
You said that one. You told me last time was not too sensational the way I say this, so I had to make sure you show me how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode, man. Another extremely sensational episode. We're back again. More absolutely loving and incredible leaders here. But before that, you know the drill. You're probably expecting this already. I'm telling you guys right now, click the button, subscribe to the channel, man, because we keep moving, we keep rising, we keep going forward, man. So you don't want to miss on anything that's going on this show. Make sure you click the button on the bell button so you don't miss on anything. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe on OC Music on Instagram, where you get all the information and everything that's going on around here, man. So welcome to the show. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Baraka. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Baraka. And on my right side, we got Major, man, right there. Major.
Yo, BK.
You know what's coming up already, right? The hot list of the week?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm waiting to hear what we got going on today. Hot list of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, Major? Talk to me, man.
Hot list of the week. Baraka's song is still out there. I feel like it needs more support.
Which one is that?
Focus.
Okay. I have to make sure I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need more support.
Let's go.
It's always good to support somebody. It's always good. And then we have something that is coming very big in the community. It's called Congo Fest by Jordan C. And his team. I think he's gonna be doing live. If you ever listen to trap hip hop,
the Jordan C. live
UK drill played live.
Yeah.
That day, man. It's gonna be in downtown, 29th of June. I think it's gonna be more like on the Congolese Independence Day, because
it's 29th of June.
It's 30th of June.
Okay.
But again, we will be there on the 29th, which means we wake up on Independence.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be an overnight thing.
That's true.
Yeah, so people will be dancing. There's food is gonna be there. Everything is gonna be there. Probably AFRODIASPO is gonna be there to do some stuff.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. For those who always think where these boys coming from, maybe we'll meet us over there.
The Congolese fest, man. Congolese people rise up. Even Africa, man. We just need Africa to celebrate Africa.
Of course, Africa needs to rise
Canada,
up.
you know what I'm saying?
Nigeria is already rising up a long time ago. So
we gotta start to compete. At least back there. It's gonna be a hard way, a long way to go. But
if there's one country that is already awake like this, it's Nigeria. Those people are watching. Other people still need to be like, hey, wake up.
Come on down. That's all I gotta say. Come on down. Shout out to my guy King Fat, man. Hey.
Yeah. So Major Mugisho has a song called Hallelujah. You know, you gotta watch that. It's already on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
That's one of my favorite songs too.
That's my favorite song. I'm telling you. But I'm not gonna talk too much. We're in the hot list, bro.
Yeah. Then we got Hit or Miss by Kyle. You know, still out there. Go to she's on Spotify everywhere, right? That song is everywhere, I think.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
I'm not on Spotify right now. But
oh, you vanished.
I vanished. I told you I just want to be a producer.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I think we have somebody on the platform now who wants to be just, you know, I don't want to sing, I don't want to do anything, just do a producer.
Yeah.
Actually, he wants just to mix.
Oh.
Mix and master. Production, no, I don't want to do.
Okay.
So that's okay. Again, Shelly Ann has this beautiful book.
Love it.
You know, all you need is one egg. So watch out this on Amazon. Go everywhere, you'll find this book, this amazing book. We gotta promote our women in the community.
I don't think I've seen the cover like that, actually.
Oh, you never seen this?
No. That is beautiful.
It's nice.
Wow.
You only need one egg.
Bro, if you haven't got this book yet, make sure you go ahead and check it out because it's such an interesting episode.
It's a beautiful book. And then again, finally, we have Razzie.
Razzie in the building.
You know what I like about Razzie?
What's that, Major?
Every time we post, man, she'll comment something. Every time we post.
Shout out to Razzie.
Yeah, she's so supportive.
I love that.
She's really a leader. So again, go on Amazon, just write Razzie, and you will see her. You're going to see the link is going to be there. Now, Artist of the Week.
Drum roll.
Oh, let's start with Song of the Week.
Oh, man. Okay, drum roll still.
Song of the Week. I'm Your Star by Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the short video he did?
It's popping, yeah.
You saw that?
He's really feeling that song, man. I give you props for just killing on that song.
Yeah,
mixing it like he wanted. You sleep on that song.
That was beautiful.
No, Jordan, man, shout out to you, man. This song is popping. You're definitely rising star for sure.
And then for Artist of the Week, I think it's fair enough that goes to Major this time. So Major Mugisho.
There's no way I'm debating against that one right there.
Artist
you
of the
deserve
Week,
that one, man.
Major Mugisho. So check it out. Thank you so much, and that's what we got for this week. Again,
amazing.
A lot of projects are still in the lab.
Coming up.
You know.
Yes, sir.
The video this week.
We'll talk about that, man.
Yeah, this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the hot list of the week, man. If you've missed on anything, make sure you check out OC Music once again, sponsored by the show. So make sure you check out OC Music. And then the guy in the back, don't try to kill out my vibe right now. Anyways, subscribe to OC Music on Instagram, get all the information out there. And then obviously, if you have something working on, you have a project working on, you want to be part of this guest, make sure you hit up OC Music as well so you can get on hot list of the week, like Major always really bless us with. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you once again, if you love the Niger people, last time we had here, you know what I'm saying? We got another sensational one for you today. And today, it's the roots, man. It's where everything starts from, you know? I know them say that the music engineering, that's the beauty thing about it. Now, everything you're trying to make in music has to go through engineering, has to go through the beauty of it.
You know one thing I learned from school about being an engineer? 90% of studio engineers are failed musicians. These are the people who wanted to be on the road, traveling, playing music, but at some point they were like, man, I'm giving up. I can't do this. Let me just be behind the glasses. So don't joke with the engineers.
The guy that guess what tonight will answer that. We got to tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another sensational guest, man, here, a music producer. He's a music engineer, incredible, talented man. Based exactly in Nigeria. I'm saying the Niger guy. Also get Nigerian people, man, rise up, man, because we got BTB, my guy, in the building. What's going on, man? It's about time getting on camera, but people have to see you, man.
Thank you so much.
Say what's up, man.
Thank you so much for having me, the AFRODIASPO. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a very interesting conversation with
Great.
you all
First of all,
tonight.
you look great, man. You look amazing, man.
Wow.
You know,
Thank you for coming out
you know,
here.
it's Nigeria.
It's
The
Nigeria flavor.
the ginger.
You know,
It's the
Nigeria,
ginger.
we say never to be caught on fresh. You know.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what we like about Nigerian people, man, because the fire they have. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Shout out to King Fab, man. Come out here last time
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
electrifying this place. We
Yeah.
love that, man. So today we will talk about you. We'll talk about how your music career is about, man. But you know what I'm saying? My tradition, people know me. I always want to get to know the person, the guest who's on the show. So we're gonna give you a little time. You know what I'm saying? 2 minutes to just introduce yourself. What's up? People gotta know about BTB, man.
Yeah, man. BTB is a sound engineer based out of Vancouver, BC. I started professionally, like in the music industry, sometime in like 2012. I was actually part of a group back in the day. It's called AFRODIASPO. Yeah, and like it was a 3-man group, and I was a producer, so we're like 4 people, and we used to do shows all the time. And then sometime the group kind of split up in 2015, and then everyone kind of just started doing their own thing. So initially I was a producer for the group, but then when split up, when the split happened, I was so used to their sound, and production was just a little bit too how would I put it? It was just a little bit too complicated for me to find other artists that I could do the same thing I was doing with Afrocentury, with. So, but I found that like sound engineering was a lot easier for me.
Back in Afrocentury.
Yeah, like just sound engineering in general for any artist was just really easy. It was easy for me to like mix and master people's songs and vocals. So then I just kind of niched down, and I decided, okay, I want to be just a sound engineer.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of like marketed myself. So ever since 2015, I was basically a sound engineer. Initially, I was kind of like, I was more like on the technical side. I just wanted to just do my thing. I didn't really want to worry about like promotions or any of that stuff. But then I started, eventually you learn very quickly that, man, it's not just about being good. You have to show people that you're good. So I kind of came out in 2019, had the whole branding and everything all kind of sorted out. So I would say professionally, I started, showcasing my skills to people in 2019. So yeah, I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and man, it's been going great, man. I've worked with a lot of talented artists in both in Vancouver and outside of Vancouver. So yeah, that's my musical journey in like a nutshell.
That's beautiful, man.
That wasn't short.
That
That's so intimidating.
That's
I'm feeling some chills.
Everything you work on is big, man. It's not playing games right there.
It's a process. Music in general is a process. That's one thing I've learned. So you just have to keep, it's about consistency and just improving as you go. So that's what I've learned anyway. So yeah.
How was it like? First of all, because like as a music engineer, mixing, listening, how is it like working in a group of like you say Afrocentury you're working with?
Yeah.
How is it different from being just a single?
Yeah, so that's the thing. When I was working with Afrocentury, I was kind of only working exclusively with them. So it was really easy to understand their sound. And plus it was a 3-man group, and they were doing very well. Like they had, at the time they used to almost every show back then they would open. Any artist who would come to Vancouver, they would open. They opened for like P Square, they opened for Davido, they opened for Akon when he came as well. So like it was just easy to get to understand like their sound. You understand? So that was the one good thing. And then when I started marketing myself to everybody, initially it was hard because every artist is different. Every artist has their like different sound and their different persona that they bring into the studio when you're recording with them. But you do it for a long time, and then you kind of get used to, you kind of like group every artist into different like pockets when they come in, and you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is how this artist is going to behave, so let me just work with them in this. Man,
I like that you say that. So, I love that you say that, because
every once in a while, I have someone coming that's like totally different from what I'm used to. But most times it's like, every artist kind of like falls in. I don't even know how to explain it. I think it's just all in my head. Like I know, okay, this artist is going to be like in this particular category. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to work with him like this. And usually 90% of the time I'm right. So yeah, that's it.
No, that's good because right there you just answered my questions that I've had for a long time. I've been asking some, I'm saying producers out here, but they just never seem to, give me the answer. But you just gave me today. Just the fact that you prepare yourself, when the artist is coming, you're prepared prior to the artist come to the studio, and now you know how they're gonna be, how you're gonna behave,
exactly,
and how you're gonna handle it. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask. Major. Is that how you behave too when it comes to me?
Well, it's so hard to judge myself.
We got a good answer here.
Yeah, of course. We all relate to that.
There you go.
We're learning. But I wanna add something to that. I wanna know, working for a group.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you get used to them. You know their sound. They understand all your weaknesses and your strength.
Exactly.
But when you start working with different people, you're freelancing. It becomes so tricky, and it's kind of like tomorrow I need my project tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other person is telling you I need it after tomorrow. How do you accommodate? Coming from that level to the other level. How do you feel the pressure that you? Is it easier for you? Was it easier for you or?
On both ends, right? Like both. Working exclusively with one person and working as a freelancer, they all have their pros and cons. Like working exclusively with an artist is like, yes, you kind of build this synergy with the artist where like, okay, you can almost, even if you're woken up the next morning to like, oh, let's work together, like you guys can make something magical. But then at the same time, I felt like I was stepping on people's toes because like a lot of people would hit me up and be like, oh, can I work with you? And I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, I work exclusively with these artists. Yeah. So and the music game, a lot of people get really sensitive about it and they're like, they get pissed off with you, like, oh, like you don't want to work with me, that type of stuff. And plus, it's also a risk you're taking working with one particular artist, because if that artist doesn't, or that particular artist or that particular group of artists, if they don't make it, then
you fail with them, right?
you're shit out of luck, right? So that's the thing. I don't know if I can cuss on this, but
it's free, man. We've had that.
There you go. But but freelancing, like you said, it's different because now you're open to everyone. You're open to working with everybody. So, and everyone is different, and and you have to meet like tight deadlines. It's not like working with one person where you can call them and be like, oh, I'm sorry, man, blah blah blah. Like, can we do this? So can I extend the deadline for this project? That type of stuff. When you're working with like an artist who doesn't know you, they have their stuff lined up, so you have to like work with their timeline. So that's why you have to have systems in place for all this type. Like I have a lot of systems in place with my sound engineer right now, where between the time when the artist like comes in to record to when I send them, I like usually I know there's a system in place for every single process, from the recording to the tracking to the mixing to the mastering and to the delivery for the artist. Like I have a whole system set up where it just streamlines the whole process for me right now. And it takes a while to make a good system, but eventually, like the more you keep working on it, it's never perfect, but with the more you keep doing it, the more you like fine tune it, like you have a system that kind of makes the process smooth and easy for you. If you keep doing it over time, you have a process that just works for you best. So, yeah.
But as a freelancer, with all the pressure you have to deliver the project, the product has to be done tomorrow. Do you feel like you miss that freedom of working with that band that you were already having a routine?
Yeah, I mean, like there are good things about like working with a band and like just living life with them, basically. Like with most, like now as a freelancer, you're not really but then again, like the truth is, if you're good at what you do, a lot of the times people would even like hit you up and be like, yo, like I've had so many times where I'll give you this one crazy story that happened to me one time. I'll give you this crazy story, man. Like so I had these guys who hit me up. I think that was a couple years back. They hit me up and they were like very because they already worked with one sound engineer, and they didn't like the products. So they were very cautious when they were coming together too, especially given the fact that like I was charging them even more than I was charging the other artists. That I was charging them more than what the other sound engineer was charging. So they were very cautious. So they came into the studio and they're like, we recorded and everything. And by the time the session was done, like, bro, they were like, bro, like, this is so good, man. We have a pool party coming up tomorrow. Like, do you want to come join us at the pool party? And I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not, man? So there you go. And I've had that happen to me so many times, man. We're like, okay, I work with an artist, and then you just invite me for, I'm having a show, you should come, I'll give you a free ticket, or you can come join me backstage, that type of stuff. So yeah, you get all those like nice perks too working with if you're good at what you do, yeah, they want to have you around them at the same time. So yeah, that's what I would say. So I don't really miss, the only thing I would say I miss is just, okay, I miss seeing like the growth of the group that I was working with. Yeah, like the way we grew, you know, from like rock bottom to like growing up and all of that. But when it comes to, you know, having relationships, I have very good relationships with most of the artists that I work with, from all of them. Like I don't really have any like bad relationship with any artists that I've worked with. Yeah. So and I think that part of it is just because I know, like, I deliver a good product most of the times. Anyway, like I deliver a good product for them. So you know, I keep really good relationships with the artists that I work with. Yeah.
Wow, that makes me feel like you don't even regret that group is gone. It's finished.
No, like, I mean, you know, it was an experience.
Like, you are just even happy, you know.
I wouldn't say like when. Okay. No. I would say I'm like, you know, it was an experience. And when it happened, you know, I was sad. Do you understand? I was sad. And I was kind of confused for a little bit, because I was used to working with just one particular type of artist. But then when it happened, I was like, you know what? And at the same time too, like, you know, we all know, I don't know if, I'm sure most of us here are like first generation, like immigrants. We all had to deal with the whole getting your PR and citizenship stuff. So, you know, that was around the same time when I was like, you know, struggling with my, documents and everything. So, you know, in a way that kind of kept me, it didn't really make me focus too much on the fact that we were splitting up. I was like, okay, well, it's happened. I'll just focus on trying to see if I can immigrate to Canada. And then afterwards, I'll figure out how am I gonna come out again, and that. But yeah, it happened. I wouldn't say like I have no bad blood with the artists that I used to work with. There's no bad, like I talk to them all the time, even like we still chat. So it's just, it ran its course, and that was it. You know, it was part of, everyone has a different journey when you start this music thing. So that was my journey. That's my story.
Yeah. Well, obviously now that you split up with a group.
Yeah.
I can say, like, being individual, you must now be like very seeing a lot of things from different artists, you know, from different artists that comes to work with you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, I don't know about Mitch, but I wanted to ask you, just any crazy experience you've had, like, dealing with artists, and you would think people should like know exactly not to do that. I want to know what's exactly the craziest thing you've gone through. Like.
Okay, the craziest thing I think my craziest experience was probably, I think that might have been like 2019 or 2020. I had like these artists come up, and it was the first time I was working with them. And then we started recording. Bro, halfway into the session, my computer crashed. My computer crashed. I had never had that happen to me before. I was like, in my mind, I was freaking out, but I had to be calm and be like, okay, you know, I just had to like finesse the situation and tell them like, oh, you know what, like, let's just come back next week. You know, I'm not going to charge you for the next session. Just, you know, just come back next week. We'll get this all sorted out. And then it was a learning experience for me too, man. Like, to always save your work when because I would always see people tell me like, you know, save. But that was the first time I realized, man, like you really should save what you're doing, bro. So now I have a system whereby like it's all on autopilot. Like everything I do just gets saved like automatically. So it was a crazy experience for me, and it was a learning curve as well. Because when it crashed, the way it crashed, it took out all of the previous projects that I had worked on prior to that day. So all of my projects from like 2012 down to like 2019 were all wiped out. I was in depression for probably like a month, man, because I was like, bro, how am I going to do all of this? It was terrible. But, it was a learning experience. And then now I know not to, now I know it's never going to happen again. I feel like that's something that happens to you once and then it never happens to you again.
Technology.
I feel I feel like, does that change? You think that changes because when recording, there's a certain vibe that you go to, the certain, vibe that you have to. Does that change even when you're gonna record next week after? Does that change the feelings? Do you think the artists do they get a little bit bothered by that? And
I mean, probably did, but at the end of the day, when the song comes out good, they don't really care. So as long as the song comes out good, push it more harder now. As long as the song popping. As long as the song comes out good, man, they don't. That's gonna just wipe out everything that happened prior. So, but that was like. Yeah, that was a crazy experience for me, man. And I never wanted that to happen ever again. So,
upgrade that computer, maybe.
Yeah, man. Like that, I had to upgrade my computer. I had to like set up this thing where like everything is backed up automatically to like my an external hard drive, so I don't lose anything anymore. But it was a learning lesson. It was a big learning lesson for me. So
So you were born in Nigeria, am I correct?
Yeah, I was born in Nigeria.
Did you ever thought about being a music engineer or a musician back in Nigeria, or just something you had to start from here?
You know what? Now I think about it. When in Nigeria, I always thought that I knew, because in Nigeria was where I learned how to play instruments. I learned how to play like the keyboard. I learned how to play the guitar. Okay. And then I also, I was in the choir. I was in my church choir at the time.
See, we need to know that. That's why we need to know about BTB, man. I didn't know you play all these instruments.
Yeah, so I was in my church choir and all of that. But I always saw music as this fun hobby. I didn't think I was actually going to do it like as an actual career until I moved out to Canada. And then, I met up with the artists, with Afrocentric. I met up with the one artist that I was living with, and then we all came together. Yeah. And then we actually formed Afrocentric, and I was like, wow, this is, I can actually see myself doing this as a career right now. So that was, Canada was when I started to take it seriously. But my learning steps in music were all from Nigeria, because I learned how to play the keyboard there. I learned how to play all the instruments that I play. I learned them in Nigeria, and then I stumbled upon my first production like software in Nigeria as well. So that was where I stumbled. Again, it was all fun at the time. I was like, okay, this is a fun hobby. But then when I moved out to Canada, I was like, okay, this can actually be a career path for me. Yeah.
Because I think we asked King Fad last show about just the experience of recording music here in Canada, and the opportunity that it gives you. If you were back in Nigeria, you think you could have had, because I feel like you came here and then you start realizing maybe I can do this thing for a career. Yeah. You think that could be the mindset if you stayed in Nigeria? Or does your Canada give a little sauce for you to?
Yeah, like if things happened the way that they happened in Nigeria, I think I don't think it would have. I feel like yes, it would have still ended up being a career path for me, because even when I came to Canada, I wasn't planning on doing it as a hobby. But then I stumbled upon my friend who was doing music, and it was really good and it was fun. Yeah. And then I stumbled. We met the other two guys as well who were part of the group. And if that happened to me in Nigeria, I feel like that's the same thing that would have happened. I feel like it would have still been a career path. It would have still been something like, I feel like it was just part of my process and my journey. Just, okay, this is going to be fun. And oh wow, this is actually going to be my life. So that's the way I see it. It was just it was just it was meant to be regardless of where I was, like whether I was in Canada or in Nigeria, wherever. I feel like I would have still I feel like I would have still come to that place where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this as a career path.
I love that, man.
Yeah. Since you are a person who learned instrument first and then you got into engineering,
Yeah.
which one do you think is hard to learn when it comes to learning? Between learning an instrument and mastering, I don't know what level you play piano. Is it like a beginner level, intermediate level, advanced, or maybe professional?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Based on your experience, which one do you think is crazy? If you can advise somebody who wants to learn at least something in music, right? If you can tell them, okay, stick on instrument first, or just do engineering, which one do you think is kind of like hard to?
That's a very tough one. I think the way I would put it is everybody starts with like something that's readily available to them initially. Like for me, keyboard was there and the guitar was there, so I learned how to play those. Yeah, exactly. And I learned how to play it, and then eventually I got into the choir. So for someone it might be, oh, you're staying next to a recording studio where people are recording vocals, and then you that's where you can start from. So just the way I would advise is whatever is available to you, start with that and then see where you can go from there. So if there's a software available, or if all you can do is sing, well, start singing first and then see where that takes you, or see where you get to from there. So I wouldn't say anyone is easier. They all have they're all easy. They all have their pros and cons. So I would just say start with whatever is available to you, because the most important thing is starting. Like it doesn't matter how you start, just matters that you start. So so I would say just start first, and then
Great.
You can make your mistakes. The faster you start, the faster you get to make your mistakes and course correct, and then get where you're going to.
Wow. So in your experience, learning either music production or engineering or singing or whatever, playing, can be tricky just by you being in a bedroom, trying to learn it. But we have different places where you can get the knowledge from.
Yeah.
So I'll name at least 4.
Okay.
Can you tell us which one would be your favorite and why?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Right. So number 1, go to school and get a diploma.
Okay.
And then, become whoever you want to become.
Okay.
Number 2, be a YouTuber. Stay on YouTube 24 hours, learn as much as you can. And then, with all the confusions that we get from YouTube and the knowledge you can get. So, and then number 3 is get somebody who just gonna be maybe, who's gonna mentor you. Do whatever that guy asks you. If they ask you to come in the morning to their house, wash the dishes, and stuff like that, as long as you are learning, do that. And number 4, just go your own road. Don't care about anyone. Do whatever you feel like you can do. And then, just do. Don't learn from anyone else, but do it the way you imagine. Which one was your path? And then why did you choose that?
Okay, so my path was personally, right? My path was the last one, where I was just,
do your own thing.
Yeah, I was just doing it, and I, made all the mistakes I had to make.
Shoot whatever comes.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't advise, like, if I was going to do it all over again, I would definitely find a mentor, like someone who I look up to, and like I'd work with them. I would definitely listen to them, and I would I would listen to them, and I would do whatever, because again, you have to find the right mentor. You have to find someone who's actually somewhere that you're trying to get to. So find that person, and you just, because that's going to fast track everything for you, because they're going to just tell you, they're going to teach you how not to make the mistakes that they made. And then, it just fast tracks everything for you. But like for me, I didn't have anyone like that around me. So I just had to, I just started. I just started playing around with FL Studio. And then, the group thing started, and then we were just figuring it out we were basically just winging it, basically.
That's too much.
Okay, yeah. We were like,
Uh-huh.
we're basically just winging it, right? So yeah, that was but if I would start it all over again and if I had a choice, yeah, I would definitely find someone who has already done what I'm trying to do and I'll just work with them. That would be my
Wow.
Yeah.
Is yours mentioning FL Studio? I know you got some questions. This is my time, right?
No problem, Agent.
As you're mentioning FL Studio,
Yeah.
this something comes to my mind. Everybody who never went to any school, who never learned from any mentor, they always mention FL Studio. What's going on with that software?
Man, it's the best studio. It's the best production software.
Is it just it's easy to understand, or
you know what's
it's
funny?
just cheap?
You know what's funny? Like I have people who tell me all the time that it's not even easy. A lot of people tell me that it's complicated. You know, for me, I don't know if I can say this, but at the time I was a college student.
Say it.
And that was the cheap, the cracked version was like the cheapest thing for me to use at start. So I just got it and I started playing around with it.
So FL,
obviously,
FL, you know who to sue next.
Wow. I'm putting me in the
now
fire.
You know who to sue.
But I mean, eventually I went and I bought.
You
the software.
finally bought it.
Yeah,
okay.
actually,
You did well at
so,
it. Because
yeah.
I saw
I
somebody.
didn't make any hits, so they can't actually sue me at the time.
There was a YouTuber that I saw who got sued by Wave. I don't know if you've seen that.
Really?
Yeah, he got sued by Wave because they realized that he's making a lot of money on YouTube and he was using a cracked version of Wave plugins. You know Wave plugins, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows them, right? Everybody has them in their computer.
Yeah, of course. Wow, that's crazy.
Yes. So they came after him. They were like, oh, no, you got to pay for this. You're making money. So I was wondering if that's what FL could do right now, you know? Get a lawyer.
When you're setting fire, you just putting in. Man just knows how to
direct things. They would be suing too many people. That's the problem. I would be a very expensive lawsuit. What?
You think people? That's the mindset.
That's how a lot of people. A lot of people start off with the crack.
They can sue everybody. All of us are going to jail.
Oh wow.
FL Studio? Everybody.
Wait. I have to ask, Major, did you also get the crack version? Did you also use that?
I don't even know if I got the crack version because it was in my uncle's computer. That's it.
That's a good answer.
That's where I learned from. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was, it was what I had to do. So I didn't have the money to buy the full thing at the time. But obviously, once I made enough money, then I just bought it. And yeah, because I didn't want any legal trouble down the line.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to move into a little bit, dive into a little bit of your music career ever since you started taking it seriously. Based here in Vancouver, I'm very curious to know what do you think the problem is in the Vancouver music industry? What's missing in terms of making music in African, culture here in Vancouver?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And for me, it's like from a third person perspective, because I'm not an artist. I'm not, I'm more or less someone in the background. So from the many years I've been doing this, I would say I feel that there's a miscommunication between both the artists and the people who actually market music in this city. Okay. So people like promoters, radio, whatever. I feel like there's a certain miscommunication, or there is a form of there are like unspoken expectations from both parties, both the artists and the people who are supposed to market the artists in the city. I feel like there are unspoken expectations, and that leads to a miscommunication between both of them. That's my observation anyway. And I'll explain what I mean, because artists in general, when you're starting out as an artist, like the best way for you to blow up is exposure, right? And the only way to get that exposure is from people who are in the city, supporting you and whatnot. Especially for things like shows, getting with promoters and stuff. if the promoter doesn't want you on the show, that's that kind of like can hinder your growth as an artist. But then I also feel like I've spoken to promoters as well, and the thing with promoters is their whole plan is to sell enough tickets so that they can make profit. Do you understand? Somehow I feel like they are not communicating that well enough to the artists, and I feel like artists who are not communicating well enough that listen, this is the exposure that you're going to give us will be good for the city, for Vancouver. It's going to be good for Vancouver's local music community. So that's why I feel like there's a miscommunication. In a way, I feel like yes, artists also need to understand that as an artist, your size as an artist really depends on how many tickets you can sell. Do you understand? Like how many people you can bring to a show will determine will determine how much you get paid in general. Do you understand? If you're doing a show, how many people are going to come for your show? That's what you need to be working on. But then at the same time, the promoters also need to realize that if they don't give these people a platform to showcase their talent, they can't build their fan base. So I feel like both artists, promoters, or like radio OAPs and stuff, they need to reach some kind of middle ground with the artists as well, to give them that exposure that they need so that we can build music. We can grow the music community in this city. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, because I feel like you mentioned some very key words there. The promotion end, just giving opportunity, a platform for artists to showcase whatever they have. What do you think the target should be for that? Because Afrobeat music is going globally. We understand that it's now hitting Grammys and so on. And we just hope for it to to land in Canada, people to recognize it a lot more and to be aware of this happening. What's the target you think they should bring here in Vancouver? Because I'm based in Vancouver, you're based in Vancouver, and what do you think is lacking that they haven't really put there?
That's a very good question. I do think in a way too, like in a way I feel like yes, it's a mixture of both in my opinion, but I think that it's a mixture of I don't know if the city is really funding the music industry as well as bigger cities, maybe like a Toronto or a LA in the US or Atlanta in the US would be funding artists. And secondly, I also think that the artists, that whatever is available, I don't know if artists in this city are taking full advantage of the opportunities as well that are available to them from the government in terms of funding for their music. So I feel like it's a mix of both. I feel like artists can do better to like take advantage of what's available, but I also think that the province could also increase its budget for entertainment, for like entertainment, and increasing like the arts and culture in the city. That's my personal opinion.
Man, I know that's definitely good, because we know how much you love promotion, how to get the music business wise.
I have a question that's gonna lead to another question.
Okay,
but let's start from here. That whatever that you were explaining, do you think it's based on a lack of knowledge of the music business here in Vancouver from both sides, like the promoters and the artists? Do you think there's kind of like because we are talking about miscommunication? If there's no proper communication, it means we don't understand something, right? Because if I cannot communicate better, it means somehow I'm missing something. So do you think it's based on that kind of like a lack of knowledge in that area?
So you're saying do you think that there's, if I understand your question correctly, you're saying, do I think that it's based off of like lack of knowledge between both of them, or from the promoters or from the artists?
We have the promoters this side and the artists this side. They have to communicate properly in order for them to succeed together.
Yeah.
Now, between them, there is the industry, the Canadian industry. It exists in there.
Yes.
So do you think both of them are lacking something? They don't understand, because if a promoter tries to promote you and they're telling you, okay, it's based on how much tickets you're gonna buy, you're gonna sell,
yeah.
so I can, I can do my job.
Yeah.
And artists will be like, okay, so why did you have me anyways? 'Cause I cannot sell tickets. My name should sell tickets.
Exactly.
Do you think somehow either one of them, or maybe both of them, somehow there is a lack of understanding of the industry, how we should make this industry work, like the Vancouver?
I don't.
It's just miscommunication.
Yeah, I think it's just a miscommunication, man. Because again, like, I feel like, again, like, both parties are expecting something, right? Like, both parties are expecting something, like, oh, an artist is expecting, oh, if I hit this promoter up, like, they're just gonna let me perform at the show for free, or they're gonna give me all of this, blah blah blah, and then the promoter too is also thinking, hey, I want this guy to, I'm trying to get on my ticket, so that's why I'm bringing an artist who has a name and blah blah. Like, that's the thing. So I don't even think it's a lack of knowledge. I just think that, like, again, like, they are not, like, both parties, they are not actually communicating. They are not actually communicating. They are not communicating what they want or what they are expecting from the other artist, or from the other party, the right way. I just feel like they are not communicating what they are expecting from the other party the right way. That's what I think. With regards to, like, lack of knowledge, I don't know, because at the end of the day, the Vancouver's music community is is relatively new compared to, like, bigger communities, like, say, okay, if you look at, like, an LA, or you look at like an Atlanta, or you look at in New York, like, it's relatively new. So yes, I guess there could be a lack of knowledge. I don't know if it's even a lack of knowledge, or if it's a lack of, like, funding, or lack of access to funds, to do what they are trying to do. I think it's even less of a lack of knowledge and a lack of, like, access to, like, support in any form of, whether financial or otherwise, to do what they are trying to do. So that's why everyone's, like, penny pinching. Both the promoters are penny pinching, and the artists are, like, finding it hard to, like, be on the come up. So I think that's what it is. I think it's minimal support as well from the government out here to get the music scene to where it needs to be, but the Afrobeat music scene to where it needs to be. Yeah.
Good. I think now you've given me the door open for my question.
Next question.
Now you can enter.
You've opened the door for me to a question. I've had an opportunity to work in one of the biggest studios in town, where you receive people from different, it's even hard to get our community's artists over, like, those big studios, right? It's usually they're usually in our small studios. Now, I never heard from big musicians here in this town, people like Brian Adams and big bands, that idea of you have to sell this much tickets when we have a show. I never heard of that. I came to hear that when I started getting closer to our community musicians. And now, here's the question now. Yes or no? Yes or no? The majority of black musicians, I'm not talking about the Punjabi, because they have their way they do it, right? They know that they do it, right? And I think they're successful in that way. Man, but I'm talking about the African community, Yes or no? The majority of them either never studied in that field of music here in Canada, or just never studied anything here in Canada. Yes or no?
There goes Major.
Wow. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a very good one.
even the promoters we are talking about, even the musicians themselves, either they never went to school here to study music, because there is the talent, there is also the knowledge of the business. These two things need to come together.
Yes.
Now, One, yes or no? Again, I'm gonna go back. Average musicians, like a black African musicians who live here in Vancouver, either never went to any school for studying music. I'm talking about music itself, or some of them even never went even to any school here in Canada. Is that, how do you answer that?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Now, do you
because
think,
even me, I'm an example. I didn't go to
yes,
school for it or anything. Like I was self-taught all the way. But I'll let you ask your question.
do you think we misunderstand, we somehow misunderstand the music business, how it works here, how it really works here in this town? Because the Caucasian community, they don't cry or the same cries we cry.
They do, man. They do. I feel like they do. I feel like they do. Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like they do.
Maybe they'll be crying something else, but not the promoters telling them to sell tickets.
Nah, man, like, bro, they do. Like, I think they do, because I've spoken to artists out here too. Like, they also have, I've spoken to like, white or Caucasian like artists who don't even make Afro beats, and they, sometimes they have issues. Like, I mean, look at Vancouver in general. A lot of our biggest venues are never really filled up by local artists.
That is true.
Yeah. It's usually like, look at like how many which artists in Vancouver do you think is gonna fill up a let's not even look at like Rogers Arena or BC Place. Like which artist in Vancouver do you think is gonna fill up a Commodore Ballroom or a Vogue? Like how many artists in Vancouver can you say that can fill up a stage like that? So, they have those, even the whites they have those struggles as well. They have those struggles as well with the promoters. Although with theirs is more, Africans, we are very like street, and we're always like, it's always there's always this, how will I put it, there's this grit from back home that we used to communicate, but them is more pen and paper. Okay, you're not allowed to do this, it's just pen and paper type situation. But with us it's more like, there's a lot of grit and fighting and blah blah blah. But I think they have the same struggles, man. I think they go through the same struggles of finding gigs and finding shows to perform at in the city. Yeah.
Wow.
But in terms of I'll ask you about the sound.
Yeah, go ahead.
In based on your career, do you find any different when you hear music, majority music in Vancouver? Is the sound the problem? Do you think there's a way something is missing to just attract the crowd, to just put it in a good way that people actually enjoy listening to and enjoy watching? And if there is, what is something that you would encourage somebody to put their effort in mixing in our music, and what they should really make sure it's the rules that you have to follow to have that sound going well?
That's a good question. In any city you go to, there will always be good artists and there will always be crappy artists. That's 100%. So yeah, like that's, there's always going to be a mix of both. But at the end of the day, we've also had good artists come out from here. Like we've had pretty solid like artists come out of here. We have someone like what's his name? Like Mercules is an artist based out of Surrey, who he was popping at one point. We had the other group Headley as well, but we all know what happened to them. But like they were also popping out here. They were from Abbotsford apparently. But because at the end of the day, music is all about being like original, but obviously there's a way you can be original that is good. There's a good way of being original and there's a bad way of being original. Do you understand? But it's like I don't know, man. I don't know if there's any tip or like advice that obviously I would always tell an artist, you need to get your song, you need to find a way to get your song like mixed and mastered. It's 2024, you need to get your song professionally. You need to have a professional touch on your song. Try and get good producers as well. As an artist, you need to get a good producer who knows your sound and a good sound engineer as well. But other than that, man, like I don't really, I don't know if there's any. I wouldn't say there's anything like missing per se in our sound. I wouldn't say there's anything missing per se in our sound. I think it's just more like our structure and our level of exposure as artists in Vancouver is not up to par with like some of the cities that we are looking up to. Yeah.
So definitely creating more shows in Vancouver. That
More
will
events,
help out.
100%. Like doing more events in Vancouver. I also, in a way, too, personally, I don't. Again, this is my personal opinion. I feel like people in Vancouver aren't really. I feel like there's also the issue of people in Vancouver not wanting to listen to new music. Because I was in Toronto. I don't know why. I think I might be wrong about that, but I was in Toronto and like, they have people are actually actively looking to listen to like new music. They want to try out they want to check out these new artists and stuff. But a lot of the times, like here in Vancouver, everybody just wants to go and see the top 40 artists who's going to perform at the Rogers Arena.
Yeah.
They don't want to like, listen to the local artists in the city type thing. So I think that's also
big.
an issue as well. I think I think as well the crowd here, and I don't know what we can do about that. I don't know how we can like fine tune the minds of people in the city to start listening to like new music. But I think if we can do that, like that would go a long way in like helping local artists in the city, grow and thrive, and helping the music community as well grow. Yeah.
Because we have talent. Like I always say in this show, man, we have crazy talent in Vancouver.
Bro.
It doesn't matter if it's Latino community, African community, Caucasian, you know what I'm saying? But I think Vancouver definitely have good musicians who are working hard. They're hungry.
Very huge.
They're very determined and they're hungry to make it. So
Vancouver needs talent.
Progress to make up.
And it kind of sucks that a lot of them too. They start out here and then they just see how the music and they can't. They know that they can't thrive, so they they leave and they go to a bigger city and they start pushing there. It kind of sucks. It kind it's terrible.
Yeah, I do have some questions, but personally, just based on you and what you want, because closing out the show in that sense will be what we're looking for. But maybe if you have those questions determined. Based on just like a promotion of your music, or if you want to have like any
since we just spoke about concerts, and we now know that there is a lot of difficulties to be known just by performing shows, because I feel like it's really hard for somebody to have to sell this amount of tickets in order for them to be even on your list of the people who are going to perform in your show. I'm sorry for promoters, but it's really hard. Like me, I cannot sell tickets. I really can't. If that's gonna take me to stay whoever I am right now, I'll never go sell tickets. I can't sell tickets unless I can influence people. Getting to buy tickets, but it's really hard to go door to door telling people about tickets. So I want to know, from your perspective, is there any how we can go around that with online exposure? Because online is there for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously that's what most, because even the big name artists who promoters, like the big name artists who they bring out here, like whoever, Whiskey, Davido, whatever, like they bring out here. It's not, they're not going door to door trying to sell tickets. It's their name. It's their name. That's the promotion that's selling, like the fact that, the promoter knows, if I post like Facebook ads or Instagram ads that, the video is coming out here, people are gonna probably lock in and try to like buy tickets. So yeah, that's obviously online is it's the way to go. And there's a process. Obviously, there's a process to it. But I feel like as an artist, the way I see it as an artist, you want to also be focused on building a fan base for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you build a fan base for yourself, well, it doesn't matter what any promoter like. If you tell your fans, hey, I'm coming. I'm performing over here, they're gonna know. So that's what every artist should even be focused on doing, just building a fan base, building a core fan base of people who know and like their music.
And you can do that online, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's what Instagram's for. That's what TikTok is for. Building a core fan base around yourself and your music, so that when you tell people to take an action, they take it. And I feel like the more people that take actions when you tell them to take it, that kind of determines how much you make as an artist. That definitely determines like how much you make as an artist. So that's why I feel like every artist should be really focused on building their fan base. Yeah. I heard something like, you know, if you have like a core of like 50 core fans or something like that, like you can actually sell almost any stadium. That's what I heard. Yeah. Something crazy like that. Either 50 or like 70 core fans. Like you can actually sell so much, like, you know, like 7 figures of worth of, like, you know, worth of stuff, you know, as an artist. So that's something I heard. I'm not sure the full specs of it, but yeah, you know, if you're able to invite 50 people to come for your show, I feel like most promoters won't even, they're going to pay you. They're not even going to tell you come perform for free. Like they're actually going to pay you because you're able to bring people. Yeah. So that's why if there's anything I would always advise is just, you know, telling artists like, hey, work on building a fan base for yourself, and everything else will kind of sort itself out.
Wow. Since to me to finish,
Yeah.
since we know that posting is like on a daily basis is really hard. You know, I've tried it. I've failed so many times. It's now that people are telling me, "Oh, bro, you're doing well now." There are tricks we're doing right now, but I want to know from your perspective, for a young musician who's still trying to struggle, you know, it's not easy to get good pictures. You know, either you're going to be doing it with your phone, it's okay. But it's hard to get professional pictures or short videos. It's really hard. Sometimes it's even hard just to post them. You might have them in your phone until you delete them. It's really hard because the artists are trying to focus on making music. But again, you still have to post every day on a daily basis because you don't have a big team. But can you give us 5 keys, according to you, that, okay, if you do this, this will keep you at least moving forward? Like, you know, just things that you can.
Yeah, I think number one I would say is just keep making music. As an artist, yeah, keep making music, because at the end of the day, like, that's, keep making music, keep refining your sound and keep getting better.
And that's on a daily basis, like I'm making your music every day.
No,
or
I wouldn't say not on a daily
you
basis.
burn out.
No, that I don't even know if anyone can really like do that. But yeah, no, I would just say keep working on music. Every day, keep working on music. You know, and then secondly, I think every artist, if you're an artist and you don't have social media presence, I don't know what you're doing. I've met some artists who are like, oh, I don't want to be on that. I don't like social media. Well, you don't really have a choice. You're an artist. You're in the show business. You're in show business. Like, you don't have a choice. You have to. If you've chosen this life to be an artist, bro, you don't have a choice. You have to you have to put yourself out there.
You have to hustle.
Yeah, unless you just want to sit down and make your music and not make any money, then that's fine. But if you're trying to make money off of this, well, you have to put yourself out there. That's how every artist, you know, makes that. You have to put yourself out there. So definitely utilize social media. Even if you don't, you need to have like at least one social media platform where you're promoting your music. It's free. And it's I don't know why people don't use it.
It's
like,
free,
yeah,
man.
It's free and it's there, you know. So and you definitely need to work on posting content. How you decide to post that content, you don't need to post every day, but you need to have a pattern for like how often you post your songs. Even if you say you want to post 2 or 3 pieces of content every week, or you say you want to post like 2 or 4 or 5 pieces of content every month, but just have like a routine and stick to that routine. Find a routine that works for you and stick to it. And yes, visuals are important as an artist. And obviously people can get intimidated when they see very crisp, clear visuals that were shot by, like, you know, on like 4K lens or whatever. I don't know what they call it, but like big, expensive videographers or whatnot. But honestly, half the time, man, it will shock you how many videos are on TikTok that are blown up on TikTok and Instagram that were shot on an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, if you have an iPhone and you have a phone stand, you can do a lot in terms of making videos and making like content for yourself. Yeah, even, you know, you mentioned Fad, I work with him a lot. Like a lot of videos that we did were shot on iPhones.
Exactly.
You know, we were shot with like an iPhone. But most people might not know that. But a lot of videos that we worked on were shot on iPhone. So honestly, if you have an iPhone and you have if you have an iPhone stand, like there's a lot that you can sorry, not a stand, a phone stand, sorry. If you have an iPhone and you have a phone stand, there's a lot that you can do in terms of, you don't need to wait for like some $1,000 videographer to shoot. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing videographers or anything. Of course, they are very important.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you don't have that budget, work with what you have.
They are important and expensive, right?
Hey, man, when our money comes in,
They do a good job.
Yeah.
They do a very good job. They do a very good job. But if you cannot afford them, well, work with what you have. You know, work with what you have until you can afford them. That's what I would. That would be my personal advice. Yeah, it was. What else would I say?
The last one.
The last one would probably be like, if you find, you know, keep checking to see what's working. Keep checking to see if something that you're doing in your promotion process is not working. You know, refine it and like keep refining what you're working on. I'm going to add a sixth one, which is have a budget.
I like that.
Have a budget.
Okay,
you know,
great.
keep money aside. Like you can't do this business without spending money. I'm sorry, you can't do this music. Yeah, I meet artists all the time who are like, oh, how can I do it for free? You can't. It's not possible. Spend money. Keep money aside. Like just know you have to spend the money. And you know, again, like I'm not saying you need to go and take like a $10,000 loan. No, but like you need to have money. No one does anything for free for you in this industry, especially when you're not a known artist. So you need to have money aside to promote your stuff. You know, whether it's you utilizing like influencers or Facebook or Instagram ads or whatever you're doing, radio, well, probably not radio because that's like payola, but you know, whatever you're doing, you need to have, you definitely need to have a budget for promoting your stuff, promoting yourself. Yeah, so definitely have a budget every month. You know, even if you're keeping like $100, doesn't have to be too much. If you're keeping $100, $200 every month to promote yourself, you're at the end of the day you're investing in yourself. So and the truth is, the bigger you get, the more money you're going to have to spend. Don't get it twisted. Like, so
that is very true, man.
That is true. I don't know why people don't. I don't know why people don't think that. You know, the fact is, the bigger you get, you think Wizkid and Davido, they don't spend like they spend like millions of naira or thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, you know, promoting themselves. Yeah. So it's never going to end. You're going to have to keep spending that money. But the thing is, at that level, you're going to make more money back. You know, at that point, it's no longer. There's a point where you first start out with like that money that you're spending being an expense, and then at some point something happens for you, and then that money you're spending becomes an investment, because you know once you spend that money, you're going to get like 10x back. So that's what you definitely have to have a budget to promote yourself. Every artist should just keep that at the back of their head. Gone are the days when promoting music was free. I don't even know if that was even a thing back then, but you know, I right think
they
now
still used to hustle. They still used to hustle back in the day. I think.
Yeah, it was
everywhere is like that.
I don't think, I feel like it was still a hustle back then, but definitely right now you just need to have a budget, man. Have a budget, and stick to that budget, promoting yourself. That would be my advice. Yeah.
Wow. BK, just
you're gonna get in trouble with the production right there. I'm telling you.
I'm done on this one. If an artist wanna work with you, would you be able to share like how much would you charge for professional mixing and mastering?
So regards to like how much I charge, I right now I do custom, like I charge on a custom basis. So I have to like see the project that you're working on, and then I'll give you a price based off of that. I'll give you an amount based off of that. But usually I like to get the feel of like the sound that you're working with first before I throw a number for
I
you.
see what you did
Yeah.
there. You know, on scales, people. Yeah, you gotta get them come first, you know.
Exactly.
Then you talk behind the closed door.
So hit me up, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, man, if you're an artist in Vancouver or actually anywhere around the world, man, we got here, you know what I'm saying, BTB, and talking about all these good things you want to hear. And I'm sure you would want to work with him after hearing all these things, because he has a knowledge, obviously, behind all this. And which is why I wanted to give you an opportunity, just closing out, just speaking about yourself. What type of genre do you usually focus working on? Which is the best one that you really want to enjoy mixing and mastering, or do you enjoy working on everything? And just where to find you and where to reach you out and find all your music and all your work that you've done too, because I'm pretty sure people out there will want to see what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, right now I focus. Right now, I work mostly with like hip hop and Afrobeats artists. Those are like the two artists that I usually work with. I've done all that kinds of like genres, but like typically I've kind of niched down to working with mostly hip hop and Afrobeats artists. But I've done other types of projects, so don't be scared to like hit me up or anything. But it's mostly hip hop and Afrobeats artists that I find myself working with these days. And that said, if you want to check out my stuff and check out what I've done, definitely check out my Instagram. Instagram is where I'm most active on. Hit me up on Instagram, BTB Audio. That's BTB AUDIO. So again, BTB AUDIO. You can also check out my website, btbaudio.ca. btbaudio.ca. And it's for me on all social media platforms, TikTok, Twitter, wherever. It's the same thing as BTB Audio, but I'm mostly active on Instagram, so that's where you're probably going to get me the most on. So hit me up. I look forward to working with you in the future as well. So whoever, I'm always down to work with everyone who's who's ready to take their music to the next level. So
I love that. I don't know if it made you want. I know you always like to close with something. If you have, man, I
think I'm.
I already gave the signal to the guy in the back, but
I'll just encourage people to subscribe and also to go watch what BTB is doing. I would be interested to see your studio.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll share a picture so we can put it in at the beginning of the show.
Absolutely. I'll send you a couple. You guys are always welcome as well to pull up to the spot as well. So
we'll definitely check it out. man, you people out there too, if you haven't yet, this is where things are happening, man. So don't forget to check out my guy BTB, because he definitely got something going on there, and you don't want to miss out on that. So check out everything he's said out there and where to find him. Reach him out if you're interested in working with him. The price will not scare you. Don't worry. You will find something good.
Don't worry,
the work is good. Trust me. It's all a good one. But man, what a show has been. BTB, man, I appreciate you for coming out here, man.
I really appreciate it.
And giving us another good knowledge behind it, man. And you're doing an amazing job. Shout out to King Fat too, and the project you guys are doing. Amazing.
Yes, bless. So I really appreciate King Fat. Like, he's one of those people who, like, I think he has a very big and bright future behind him. So he definitely,
the love, man. The love is still strong with King. You know what I'm saying?
King Fad.
Hey, man. Shout out to King Fad, man. So we do appreciate you guys for tuning in and enjoying this show. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. I know Major for sure did as well. So thank you for tuning in. I would like to remind you, obviously, to subscribe to the channel and continue growing this family. And also don't forget to reach out OC Music and follow OC Music on Instagram, where you find all our upcoming guests. And if you want to be a next guest, you can also make sure you go out there. But for the last, man, we want to close out this sensational episode has been. Sensational. It's been amazing, man. So thank you so much for tuning in, man. It's been BTB out here. He's signing out. On my right side, we got Major. Yeah, you go. Peace. Get a little something, man. And then I'm your host, Baraka, man. Don't turn the camera on me yet. Just keep it out right there. There you go. And then on my left side here, we got one and only BTB, man. Best producer in time, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a sensational, man. We'll see you guys next time. We out.